actually really awesome. You can definitely see the
퍼시픽
impact
하는데
of the
경기장이
previous
왜
map.
이렇게 작은 거야?
And how, again, quickly it translates into Zeta capitalizing on such things. Before, I think, you know, during the dark days of Zeta Division, they were only
days.
Yeah, they were only really relying, I think, on depth to heat up, and there was this like weird interval where there's one week, well, depth's gonna be the one that's always heated up on Zeta Division, and then last comes in the very
경기장이 왜
last
이렇게
couple of weeks.
작아요?
But now, with the rookies, as you were mentioning with Yoran and Hiroran, it's kind of come full circle here for Zeta Division.
근데 이름
in
진짜
terms of that
귀엽다,
firepower.
히로론.
And obviously, when
히로론.
everybody
히로론.
has that star potential, you are able to at least bank a lot more on more players on your team to be reliable than more times than not.
Yeah, you know, you gotta at least be able to get your exchange or get that one frag to provide the value to your team, because if not, numbers advantage always dwindles down. And if I recall correctly, that game match against T1 last year, the one that, where they could have almost went over to Masters Tokyo, there are some of these instances or moments where T1 on the map Fracture just knew exactly how to, you know, come in with some executes and a lot of combos where Zeta didn't quite respond in kind. And then, you know, as numbers advantage comes in, you're always not quite able to retake effectively, and it's just difficult at that point. This year, of course, just a very, very different story. It's very lovely to see, but now as we move on into this next map,
아, 그래요?
it makes you think, right? The previous one was Zeta's choice, Ascent.
Yeah.
This is now T1's map pick. The previous map being such close of a scoreline, how will this one feel, you know? T1's definitely practiced this quite a bit.
Yeah, fair enough question. Right, I can only assume a big portion of this is going to be how strong the long-range presence of Execute is going to be felt, right? And we were kind of hoping that we would see Laz match that up, but he wants to be more of a utility player, you know, so he's going to get himself that killjoy. But you're absolutely right. Although, to be said, this is the map, at least from just, you know, remembering it from pure memory, Laz was the one that got so much impact play when he was on the chamber.
Yeah.
So you know that there is some familiarity
경기
with Zeta
보고
Division on
있습니다.
this.
근데
Yeah.
디스코드로
From that
화면 공유해서
LCQ
같이
last
보고
year.
있습니다.
Oh yeah.
But, you know, can that familiarity help you counterplay against, you know, someone who's that good, Execute, right? And they definitely have experience against each other before in other game titles as well. So now that the tech issues have been resolved, let's get back into the game.
Yay! I'm very excited, guys. I just don't want to overdo my voice because we still
헤드헌터
have
네발을
some-
샀네요.
With the
고스트가 아닌.
potential for a third map.
But also potential for third map, exactly. We have been at this for a very long time.
아요.
Trick some ripple.
Yes, it will give you wings. Okay, hold on. There's a paranoia setup here from Izu all the way on B. Is this a quick throw right now, or will they wait for contact first? Seems like it's gonna be the wait for now. Don't wanna pull the trigger too quickly. Because of that, look at this three-man push already from T1. Loving the aggression.
Alarm bot.
It's only the alarm
Alarm
bot
bot.
holding them. And if Yoran makes a mistake,
오, 알람봇
it's gonna
있거든요.
be his
알람봇
life
싹
all
깨지면서
for naught.
이러면은
No trades whatsoever. Huge push out coming in from T1.
템포 안 높이고 바로 B 돌리고 회복을 하네요.
Activated as well, but because the guns were at the ready, T1 is not going to dare to challenge just yet. However, on the other half of the map, still Execute definitely thinking about positioning himself around Rubble. He's near enough to that rendezvous. Oh wait, no, that's a trademark.
Yeah, he actually recalls the rendezvous. So if he
앞에
can hold
스모크가
out for
쳐져
like
있기
10 more seconds, he
때문에
can use it right
넘어간
now
거
and be
모르네.
even more aggressive to push out, nearing that ultimate orb.
내가 봤을 때 로토스 이렇게 지금 이 상황에서 둘 하나 매우 위험하거든요.
And
오.
that's 3 headshots. Fortunately, not getting that contact. Depp on the other side though does find Rossi. Trying to flush him out with the nade here.
There we go.
He does get control of that C-long.
Gotta watch Waterfall and the door maybe. At the very least, they managed to take over the site. T1 corralling around to kind of set up for the retake. You've got definitely players some headed up towards.
씨.
Oh, wait, actually, no.
그래도
So many of them
뭐
headed towards Mount.
나쁘지 않습니다. 프라울러
This
하나
might actually
빠졌고
be
이제
bad, though,
스킬이
'cause if they wait a
망상이랑
little bit
리콘에
longer,
스모크
yeah, they
하나밖에
have to
없긴
bring that
하거든요,
turret very
상대가.
quickly right now. So Zeta Division knows that there is some mount push. To what extent? Unknown. But here comes the push here
아
and
이거
now.
들어오면 메인으로 너무 많이 와가지고 망상 다 먹고 다 뒤지는 각인데요 이거. 하나요? 아 블라인드. 와 근데 킬조이 저거 누가 잡았냐? 파르페야? 재혁이 오빠야? 와우 와우 히로론 히로론.
Sugar Zero hand in hand breaks them down.
아니 히로론이 레전드인데?
It looked a little bit iffy here for Zeta Division, but they come back again with the rookies taking charge.
Exactly right. Hirodon, 3 kills back to back. I definitely felt very shaken by this push coming out from T1. You're thinking about it, might be a bit of a choke point, but because Zeta doesn't really know, they're kind of just stuck and pinned down inside. They can't really use Waterfall to escape because they're always thinking somebody could be approaching from here. But as soon as X-Curate falls, and then the rest of them coming out from Mount, it was easily dealt with, and Hirodon and Sugar Zero, that was just that much better. Now into the next round, just these pistols,
아
got a little
히로론
bit of
개웃기네.
information, but then Zeta, of course, with the guns, just playing it safe, playing it careful. Got the firepower, just make use of it.
They don't want to over challenge just yet. Numbers can prove to be an important factor here for both teams.
Very nice check.
Yeah, just gonna retake the utility right
Don't
now.
challenge the toxic screen, please.
Oh man, if that drops, everything will
와 되게 많이 긁혔는데.
be unleashed.
오오오오오.
Trades still actually
그래도 이제 트레이드 잘 맞고 아직은 해볼 만한.
single
이게 안
digits
찍혀?
at this
이게 안
point.
찍혀? 이게 안
This is
찍혀?
definitely not spotted by that haunt as they call in X-Grid reinforcements. Smoke's about to go down. 40 seconds. And all still up in the air here, Quack, especially now that, again, the chamber is available for contact.
Very close to it. It is definitely possible. Well, it depends on how sharp X-Grid can still be. That's it, you don't want to lose the guns.
아직 할만하다. 라즈 씨가 필이기 때문에.
They have to make their way through 20 seconds left.
He's using around the pop shots, isn't he? Yeah, he is. 15 seconds, though. They're all reloading. Oh my gosh, did he actually go around the peaks? 10 more seconds.
Gotta hunt.
He's gotta have to plant the spike here. Izu's getting closer and closer. My heart cannot take this.
와 이즈. 오 마이 갓.
2 pistols up against 3 rifles. Yes, Laz was low, but wow.
아니 제가 여러분들 근들가 떨었던 이유 알겠죠? 각이 보였다니까?
They made use of the toxic screen, just checking. But then as soon as they go up around, mid-link area, that toxic screen that Rossi had blocked off so much, and rightfully so. Izu popping off, just playing around his dark cover. Very good extension.
Very good use of cover as well, as you mentioned, to really put some hurt there on Sugar Zero. To push out from X-Grid. If he stays here, he can still get that value and get away with bloody murder using that rendezvous of his. T1 truly on a warpath right now. X-Grid's back into holding that B main. Door's been opened up, but attackers holding this position on B. Heron's about to just go into that embracing crosshair there of X-Grid. Goes down, Spike as well along with him.
그렇지 로시는 오딘이지 오딘.
Last to follow. T1. X-Grid's just so good on this chamber.
Yeah, not much to say. I mean, just with the way that they're getting the eliminations on this round. But I dare say, this could be looking to be, this is looking to be one of T1's sharper maps. Just a couple of days ago, right, playing against Bleed in the first debut.
Yeah.
Breeze was picked by Bleed, and then that one kind of went overtime, 18-16, really long. But as soon as Bleed went over onto T1's Lotus, 13-6, that was way more decisive than anything that we have ever seen before.
공능치 너무 좋았는데.
Top fragging. Now it's gonna be Saya
뭐야?
here with the
뭐야?
raise nades.
Yeah, on a buy round 2 for Zeta Division. That's not looking too hot, especially now that, you know, Zeta has the weapons per se. Euron even
Huh?
having to change up into a rifle from his Odin as he needs a little bit more of that precise firepower.
아니 뭐지?
Maybe
아
deals some
시즈글에
damage
던진
here.
거구나.
They gotta be careful that they don't get hit by these wild shots from Rossi too.
There.
Saya player's just holding an angle right now. Get a pick off very quickly, very cleanly. And Rossi, boy,
One enemy
어
remaining.
나이스
Rossi
트레이드.
quick to go for the punish.
백. 백.
Laz
아무것도 할 수 없는 라즈가 돼버렸거든요 지금.
by himself,
1대4? 할만한가?
lurking.
할만하지
He has to pick
않습니다.
up the spike.
빛이 지금
He
야무지게
just
잘
has to go
잡고
all the way
있고
for this pilgrimage on this A side, and it's not gonna be too pretty.
이거 하면 그냥 라즈는 신이야
Yeah,
신.
he's got some stragglers tailing behind him too.
Oh, yeah, you're right. And he does not have his turret, so they're just about to hit this lurk, and he's looking
Nah, it's
to
quick
what's in
enough.
front of him. Yeah.
I mean, to me, like this round, you know, the way it starts off, of all things, a nade kill from Saya player. I'm not quite exactly sure how that happened to some of the Zeta players, but
coming
it's not the way that you
OP.
want the round to start, especially
케빈.
when you're starting things off with a full buy. It's just knocked right on over. Maybe was it a teleport? Yeah. Just tossed right into the spot, kind of anticipating Zeta's game plan. And then at that point, it's already a 3-on-5.
Yeah.
Just because of nades. Huh?
I mean,
I'll find
it
you.
sees and nade,
Oh, yeah, you're right.
so it's a double whammy. You cannot escape that once you get, you know, tethered in.
There.
So womp womp for Zeta Division.
So back into it, round 5. It's the half buy. You got this Odin. You got Execute on the operator already. Saya player with the rockets.
By the way, this is a really strong angle for Rossi here because at his elevation, if you go right in front of him, that angle right there is well bangable, and you will get hit if you're not crouching down. And obviously, you
오,
will
B
be
서치
walking,
한번 나가고
standing up
있습니다.
straight. So if he's not flush out of his corner there, and
A
he just, like,
페이크인 척
follows
하려고
everybody
하는데
through
B
the
서치
walls,
나가가지고
it's a
털을
high
깨고
percentage chance kill for
Very
Rossi.
오,
crucial
B
for
앞에
Rossi to be
없네.
in that spot.
이러면 이제
Watch
저
that angle,
라인들
not expose
지금
himself
여기
too
둘
much.
라인들
A single hit, Zeta could be able to take him off.
아무것도 못하죠.
But of course, Zeta trying to
와,
look
뒤
for
잡는 거
on the other
개빠르다.
sides.
로시아 살아만 있자 로시아. 그렇지.
So little options right now from Zeta that we're,
와, A가 본진인 줄 아네?
Oh, okay, Depth trying to bypass.
하지만 C라는 사실.
and they can't really plan on the platform,
seconds
right?
left.
Because Rossi's right here with his
와우.
spam. So
굿.
this is just going to be a little bit of money, and Excurit's timing as well as his hold on these lurks haven't just, again, leading to easier rounds dealt here by T1.
잘 끊었다. 1대4.
Takes for Depth to play off of his teammate's contact just to take that Odin away. Spike might be planted. That's good enough for the economy, but Execute precise with that sniper. 4-1 for T1 now.
And he's sitting pretty with his tour de force also available for him. So this is,
Oh.
you know, hurt upon hurt.
Yeah, this is where T1
아니
starts
근데
to
이게
really
사실 이렇게
find
될 수
the
있었던
effective
이유가
usage of,
그 본진 3명이서 B를 너무나도 잘 밀었기 때문에
you die with the operator, you lose a couple more rounds, all good. I can just pull out the sniper whenever
사이드가
I
이제
want.
경계할 수
The
있는
tour de force.
그런 근거를 만들어줬죠.
So of course now that Depp has the showstopper, Hirodon with the Nightfall, maybe looking for a bit of an execute. But it's going to take a lot more just to put T1 at the back foot.
And first things first, they have to flush out Excurit. As long as they don't
Oh,
hear
yeah,
that
you're
snap
right.
of the fingers, they already know that he's still somewhere right in front of them. Now they do. They can choose to start pushing up. They got a couple of seconds, but the thing is, this is a false sense of security right now, Quack, as two players of T1 have kind of sandwiched themselves together. And the longer they wait, the more chances they allow once again for, you know, Excurit to place himself on an off angle, TP out, and the cycle, the ruthless cycle continues.
Not just Execute, right? You got Izu on this, you know, a little bit of an off angle.
아 이거 큐큐
Good thing
미스난
that
거
it's
같은데?
Nightfall that, you know,
벽에
puts out
꽁한
these
거 같은데
tracker
이거?
lines. Saya player tries to push them back.
이게
But of
역으로
course,
공
Zeta has to
쓰면서
play really careful about this. And with
뭐
all
그런
that, he
짓은
just
안
burns down the
하네요.
timer a little bit more.
He shoots the nade into the doorway.
So it's going to be like alt for alt.
Yeah.
Now down to 40 seconds remaining. Sugar Zero trying to reposition from the shadows.
He actually opens up the doorway as well.
30 seconds left.
It looks like to be a feint too. He's
30초밖에 안
gravitating
남았기
attention here.
때문에 상당히 여기서 그레네이드 사운드를 째게 된다면 잡나요? 오,
And Deb
근데
converts.
데뷔
These kind of
잡았습니다.
fights are incredibly messy.
하지만 데미 장식?
They just have
데미
to make
장식?
it happen, right? That's
아니 이걸 그냥 나가? 아니 데미 장식 어디다
It's not just the
팔아먹었어.
hook, man. It's everything. And it's all going to be down to last to plant that
wow.
spike. Sugar Zero was way too far because he committed the feint already all the way on tree. And
아니,
T1,
데미
these
장식 어디다
rounds are
팔아먹었어?
just
뭐야?
pouring in.
Got 5 in a row. Wondering if timeout needs to be called for Zeta Division. So I don't know if I can find an answer to this. That's why I'm not a coach, but again, look at how T1 plays this. Although they did buy that
아니
fake
근데
permit,
이번
you know,
라
from the
이기는 게
Sugar Zero,
맞는데 내가 봤을 때.
as soon as the dark cover went out, extra
아니
calls
저
for
오퍼
rotations right
굴리는
back.
게 여러분들 진짜
knows
지금
how
저
to
오퍼 하나
position
때문에
himself,
계속
knows
잘리고
how to
있는데
play.
저거
You know, cut
굴리는 거
bait, let's
개빡쳐서라도
sit
나는
back.
그냥 궁
Maybe
썼을
Cycler
듯.
drops, but Excurate goes in with the team. He finds his frags with the operator, with the headhunter, and he's still sharp. He's still sharp on that thing.
And again, there is no real counter against, I think, Excurate here. You can throw as much utility to flush about one corner, but again, if T1 can delay long enough, the cycle can keep continuing, right? He can keep placing his rendezvous. The threat is back up
Even
again.
if you try to dive at him with the showstopper, he might be able to shoot you out of the air.
Exactly. So
Maybe.
there really is no answer to him. And the big problem is Zeta Division, all the plays that they're trying to do is to alleviate, divert attention, force a rotation out of T1, but it isn't working because T1 knows that even if they don't rotate, they still have such a solid hold with all of the
On my way.
pieces spread out across the map.
Just wanting to play away from him, right?
Yeah.
But it's just
Yeah.
difficult
아니
to always
근데
pull
진짜
that off.
지금 공 쓰면 지금 공 쓰는 게
So
더
maybe
사고예요.
just give us the chamber versus chamber. Last on chamber, you know, out off Excurate.
I feel like Excurate will just say that'll be a cold day in hell, that he'll be able to do that.
Yeah, but then we need Laz to say the same thing. But it is that bit of a half
아니
round
개
for Zeta. You got
아니,
Zep on
개어이없네?
the Vandal still,
한 번 더?
but
아 이걸 한 번 더 하네?
as they kind of push their way past pillars, Carpe gets all the information he needs.
I like how
아니 진짜
Steven is
개웃기네.
opening the door
한 번 더
so that
하네.
Excurate can
Keep
just
checking, yeah.
yeah. This is awesome.
Go again.
아니 개웃기네 그냥.
Now he has to hold for C-Long now. They know something's up.
Dark cover outs.
Yeah, that smoke gives him a little bit of that coverage. His teammates backing away. Excurate with the bait and switch.
오.
Yeah, exactly that. Again, they just have to figure it out, and
30 seconds left.
it's going to result in Zeta Division having to just take the loss of a teammate, right, and go elsewhere. That's as good as it's going to get.
What?
This status.
What?
It's falling apart, man. It is falling apart. T1
Wow.
ripping through round after round. Zeta Division just cannot
아니.
find any leeway.
아니 저
T1 is unstoppable.
Yo, similar streaks happened in their match against Bleed. It took like 4 or 5 rounds.
와
before
근데
Bleed
뎁씨
actually
전판에
answered
잘했는데
back.
지금
This is
개말리셨는데?
incredible. Excurate. Izu controlling the map. And then, you know, maybe some weird whiffs here and there, but as Zeta tries, you know, to go in for such an effort just to, let's just ignore it, run away from Excurate. You got Saya play that you got to deal with.
Yeah,
It's 2 ops now. It's 2.
that's gotta hurt, man. 2 fronts. But of course, overwhelming firepower. Also, is not gonna look too hot.
めちゃくちゃ応援してます。
ありがとうございます。ありがとうございます。
Saya player holding that teeny tiny point of contact here. He gets smoked off himself. Zeta Division Again, they're very much lost for kind of contact here.
Very crucial for them to get bits more space. And then here comes that depth.
이러로.
What is this?
와 이걸 예상을 해?
Did he
예리한
or
놈.
was he just thinking,
예리한
this is
자식.
omen-sized smoke? Or omen-sized pocket of a smoke?
Possible, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see if I shoot this and then someone comes out. Izu does.
But of course, I mean, with the way that they actually took this, that's the main thing.
Yeah.
Very crucial for Yudon and Sugar Zero to really block things off with the toxic screen, gives them a bit more space. Dep is then allowed to get into tree along with
두 자루여가지고 뭐 해볼 만한 게 없는데 아 근데 이거 저는 솔직히 궁이라도 이번 라에 빼야 된다라는 생각이 있기 때문에 궁도 못 빼면 살짝 스노우볼 부를 수 있을 거라고 생각은 하거든요. 궁도 못 빼? 진짜? 아 진짜? 아 진짜?
And you might be able to have a better day.
How close is that explosion going to take? Whoa, that is turning into a very risky endeavor. I mean, the play was there. Rossi was throwing out his smokes and everything.
아니 근데 상대 궁이 너무 좋아요. 킬조이 궁, 바이퍼, 레이즈 궁.
Fully in the end.
궁이
And now
너무 좋은데?
T1's like, we're kind of dipping too much into the operators. We need someone
충분히
to start fighting for us
6대6,
just in
아
case this
6대6은
happens.
모르겠고
Lo and behold, Saya
7대5까지는 비빌 만한 궁이라고 생각합니다.
We saw how effective that was on the C site, so we're just gonna stick to it.
Yeah.
We've got okay, lockdown, showstopper, Viper's Pit.
X-Grid pushing in.
Oh my god. Are we
So
Wow,
close
alarm.
too. They're not gonna know about this.
That's the thing.
Yikes, X-Grid, what a mad lad. And he's not done!
와우! 케빈! Oh my god! Let's go, 케빈!
Peeking, and they keep giving him the opportunity
Stop
to
it.
stay in highlight reel mode.
Enough!
Enough's enough, man.
뇨비 뇨비!
You were absolutely right, Asteroid. They, would not be able to anticipate that. They thought it was just a nade, so maybe coming back in to reinvestigate. But then, got the
야야!
op.
뇨비
Fires off for
케빈!
2 more shots. I mean, the second one was incredible.
We need a slow-mo on that one.
Bang! Oh my god. Micro flick so pinpoint accurate. I mean, that's why his name is Accurate.
월헤드인 것 같습니다. 월샷 판정으로
Is,
들어갔고요.
X-Factor accurate. I don't know if that's, the meaning behind the name, but it's pretty apt if it is.
Now we just call him Kevin.
Kevin! All right.
Trap destroyed.
Lockdown used. Doorway blotted out by the smoke. You can really see how much respect, I think, at this point, Zeta has. Question is, where's the plan on this spike? Because if it's placed on safe, they have to start pushing it.
오! 와우!
That is a misstep from them.
아니야!
Zeta are really
뭐야
getting
방금
into their
무슨
own
일이
heads
일어난 거지?
here.
대배 궁에?
T1 got everything locked and loaded. Sure, there's going to be the plan on the spike.
오?
Viper Pit as well. But the pinch from T1 can still come in pretty swift.
아니 진짜로요? 아니 무슨
Well,
저런
let's see
억가가
if
다
they find enough
있냐?
time to prevent that from happening. Laz on just a heck of a journey. Ooh.
That was pretty quick here. Redeems
Laz.
himself.
그래도 라운드는 제타가 이긴 것 같거든요. 이거 이기기 매우 어렵기 때문에 송구덩이가 살아있죠. 매우 힘들죠. 그렇죠. 라운드는 이겼습니다. 데미 장식은 없어졌지만 그래도 라운드는 가져왔기 때문에
Every single bullet ultimately leading to Zeta with 1 round in.
Yeah, not a bad idea, right? I do wonder if this is something called from Coach Carlisle, but the Viper's Pit covering the entirety of B-side, such a lovely thing. Dep, of course, being able to go in fast enough to create the space for his team. You had him checking out top of heaven with the nades, the boombot to clear out mid-link. Just lovely stuff all over. And then Dep, of course, landing the shot with the Sheriff that close. Renders those ops useless.
And here we go again.
Oh, no.
And they got the same
깨줘.
setup all over.
자,
Players get TP.
Okay, good.
He pocketed his teammate Izu around the corner there.
진짜 모른다.
Are they gonna actually
모른다.
check? Of course not. Can he TP out?
아니 아니
Execrate's down to 5.
아니 이걸 하나밖에 못 잡아.
Took that damage in, but it's gonna be that. But of course, T1 not missing a beat, gonna start making some waves here. Laz by himself forced himself to go into a fight, but of course,
그니까
this is the captain we're talking about. He might not have forgotten
2대2?
all of the highlights in
근데
this
C에 아직
Still a force to be
케빈의
reckoned with.
오퍼가 있다는 사실 필이긴 하지만 그래도 하나 끊고
As long as he stays tucked away,
충분히
if the
할만하거든요.
rendezvous comes back up too.
근데 이게 심리상 C는 저기 저 라인까지 클리어를 시켜야 마음이 편안하다고. 이 심신이 편안해요.
Just enough for them to sneak through.
Paranoia is gonna.
They'll have no idea that he's here.
That's true enough,
30
but
seconds left.
with this turret,
아,
oh my God, how
Oh,
did
it's
the turret not kill him?
Spike planted.
왼쪽!
Turret fire.
왼쪽!
They know he's there.
What's the angle?
No!
Execute, how do you
아니!
find these angles, man? Sugar
레알!
Zero,
아니 이
2
새끼
versus
앵글
1.
뭐임?
With his teammate dropping down, with Laz not having the support of the turrets anymore, yeah, Sugar Zero just needs
2대1!
to find
2대1!
some form of solace here, and that smoke gives him a little
아
bit
이거
of
근데
coverage.
이거 생각했는데?
Goes in for the no scope. Spike planted right beside him.
Okay.
He gets the first one. Smoke giving a little bit more cover. It dissipates.
와
but Rossi
로시 나이스 로시.
gets the kill. Plenty of time to defuse.
Of course. It's just such incredible stuff coming in from Execute. I don't know what else to say.
I was about to say the
Last
same thing.
round.
You
before
were
the
about to say
switch.
the same thing.
Yeah, because there is no rhyme or reason. You cannot reason. You cannot understand
Remaining.
something that is just too great for you to be knowledgeable at, right? Oh! Back. One more
아니
round before we
미친놈이네
get the
진짜.
Yo, yo, yo,
로시
Sugar
이름이
Zero indeed.
It's been a
데니엘이거든.
rough
데니엘.
half for Zeta Division.
다니엘이
Hopefully they'll have a better
로시
time in the
이름이.
second, but now as we close things out, T1 going on the offensive.
완전 미친.
I mean, Zeta Division, she just let go of this A main, man. There's too much heat at this point. Especially with Carpe so close there. If they commit to this,
와 오딘 어쩔 건데. 오딘 내려다. 뎁 미친.
slowly creeping
오
up. It's a risk he's willing to
이걸
take, and it's a
잡았네?
risk that's not gonna pay off.
뎁의 미친 진짜 미친
Stubborn and now they keep
암살을
into this. It's not gonna work.
미친
They're
암살쇼
afraid to
나올
turn back as well
뻔했는데.
because someone else could have pushed up onto pillars.
The devil you know, the devil you don't, right?
와우.
Headshot
We know.
angles when
와.
noted. There it is. Cherry on top. Seals the deal. 9-3. T1 commanding first half in this second map.
Switching sides.
I want to see Rossi pop off again. 9-3 first half. Incredible map performance from T1, and you see it all. First of all, of course, Execute just deadly with this operator. Then you have the potential for Sayo to do the same thing. Rossi on the Odin. I mean, I can't forget about Izu, of course.
Yeah, just name everybody from T1 at this point.
Yeah, one more player. Wait, I got his name. It's Carpe, there we go, the IGL. It's been a little bit quiet, but you know, he's making the calls.
I mean, the show is definitely in Execute's favor here, or Execute's time and time again.
Win and give me a what? What the phone was gonna say. But yeah, it really just is.
나 축구 안
we are,
보는데.
you know, hyping him up a lot, but it really is because he's finding a lot of these impactful frags. It's not just collecting numbers and numbers of frags.
Yeah.
But the way that he positions himself,
나 축구 안
sometimes
보는데.
even, you know, randomizing it. Sometimes he's on C, sometimes he's back on A.
And it's not just by himself too. It's with somebody always from the T1 side, right? And because of that, you know how we talk about, if it's only Execute, they can use a bit of utility to flush him out and they can push up into the side. But because he has that support from Izu, because he gets that support from Carpe, so on and so forth, he shrouds himself in so many options that, again, it turns into a 100-question guessing game for Zeta as to where Execute really is, as to how to counter Execute at all. And now, again, it ends up into that 9-3 as we flip the sides.
For real. Like, we haven't really seen anyone challenge him through this this map. Now they're on the attack, and this is where Carpe will be more effective.
Oh.
Peeking out.
로시.
Okay, these strings are still
로시랑 케빈이 2킬씩.
down to just Laz running all the way through that A site.
클래식을 든 라즈는
Classic
아무것도 할
in
수 없어.
hand, Excurrent holding tight little angle here on on stairs. And as the smoke comes into play, wow, this is like 3 people just looking straight into Laz if he pushes this.
이거 나가면 지옥 가시바시하고 끼는 안 돼.
It will not. Zeta Division's calls looking very lost as T1. I don't want to say commanding, I want to say dominating right now here on Lotus.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, like, this is where I'm gonna start to get a little bit worried-ish for Zeta Division. And that's really just because this performance from T1, yes, Lotus is their map, that's amazing. The next one is gonna be Sunset. And we haven't really seen Zeta's Sunset before. I don't know what.
근데 어센트는 약간 그래도 제타가 잘했는데 로터스 보니까 완전 그냥 메롱인데 메롱. T1이 그냥 너무 잘하는. 근데 일단 양념은 맛있게 쳐놨거든요, 양념.
Go heavy contact when it's Excurrent in front
니
of them.
살짝
You can
무섭죠?
always TP away.
와우. 그레네이드. 사야 플레이어.
Zeta Division really losing, I think, any form of calls. They're just hoping that being aggressive, being a lot more forward is gonna pay off, but ultimately it really hasn't.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one to say the least.
Yeah.
I mean, side player in this round is kind of like, yo, let me in on some of the fun. You guys got all the kills before. Give me some. And there he goes. Now, if you go into the next round, you know, 3-11, unless Zeta can really hunker down, pull off a Fnatic, such a crazy comeback. If they do it, that'll be amazing. But if they don't, you know, match point, that's it. Last starts things off.
라즈.
Here on claps back as well for an extra. Also want to say again, Excurrent's already on an operator. Here.
라즈 씨 상당히
I mean, it's an
상당히
operator
잘했어요
you might
방금.
not keep a hold of.
돌 데려간 거 매우 컸습니다.
So one full
하지만
minute to work with.
오퍼.
Fair enough.
Could save, but that'll take a really long time.
이러면은 케빈이 할 게
I don't think
없는데.
Zeta's gonna chase them down, no?
Nah.
Probably
또 문
not.
열어주네.
Zeta's in that mind space where they're like stressed. How are we gonna do this? And
못 나갔네.
got separated with that by the door. All right.
The crowd was like gasping a little bit. Not like this. It's alright, he's gonna make it over. Hiroran has sightlines. Definitely hears that rendezvous being placed down.
컴팩. 와우.
Ayo.
30 seconds left.
And Excurrent hasn't actually TP'd away yet, so he can get a more forward position here on Waterfall.
더 해? 더 할 거야 케빈?
And again, just wait around the rendezvous.
아니 망상을 그렇게. 와 뎁.
Dab, if
아니 뎁 미쳤네 그냥.
down to an up in
템포
that
보소.
fashion, I'm already calling it Excurrent best operator player here
망상!
in Asia Pacific.
맞았다!
Dep swing out to the paranoia.
할만해.
He's in the favor of Dep here though, because Izu's gonna have to get closer and closer in, and Dep just 100% defusing
What?
the spike.
아니 이거는 데뷔 잘했다. 데뷔 잘했다 이거는.
Or keep the rifle in hand. Also works fine. But Excurrent.
Yeah, Axura was deadly. But you gotta respect and admire what Dep did at the end. I mean, that's the experience. That's the, you know, knowing that your opponent is far enough that you have enough time to really stick the defuse.
What? He still has money for it?
이거는 데뷔 잘했어요. 데뷔.
I mean, this is just a weapon in his hands.
솔직히 저거 오퍼 한 발 딱 쏘고 나서 큐큐 타고서 온 것도 진짜
Okay, fine.
너무
It
잘했어.
is
바로
a paint
다음 발
rush
쏠
and
수
he's
있는
the
기회를 안
artist.
주잖아.
Okay, there we go.
고수 입장.
And the map is the canvas, and shooting down his opponents is the art. I don't know. I'm not poetic at all, but
Good try, good try.
good try. Excrete's still a man with a plan.
Take hold.
I feel like as long as Zeta doesn't really give him too much, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for him. But as soon as I think that, you know, I'm recalling that round where, well, just the previous round, where he just waltzes up and catches Hiroran. Hiroran knew that he was up around because he heard the rendezvous, but still couldn't really react in time, and that's just accurate pre-aiming corners. A lot of sense coming in. However, this round now, maybe with Yuran and the judge and more unorthodox play,
스킬 잘 뺐는데? A 오맨의 삑,
only one on B side,
베이즈의
supported by Depp perhaps. They're trying to fend them off, trying to buy enough time.
T1 did wait for a lot of those nades to subside before they actually start pushing in onto B. Cost them a bit of time, 20 seconds to remain, but they still get that plant regardless. Well, they will be forcing this retake from Zeta Division with all of them holding into the site itself. This is looking so dicey here for Zeta Division. Again, if they don't have any flashes, which they don't, they're gonna have to go in, dry on the contacts, and T1 is just ripping them apart. There's that long flank coming in from Depp, but he's already so late. Laz, sure he can pick up Excrete here.
근데 시간이 없어요,
It's gonna
시간이.
explode regardless. There's the alley-oop here
시간이
from
없는데.
Cyan player. And Depp,
아하,
I don't know if he's
이거
gonna
좀
get engulfed by
떨구나요?
the event horizon. He does not, but that puts us into map point. And possibly even another map 3
아니, 근데 이거
in
궁 왜
this
썼지?
day as T1 is not
아니 이거 궁 안
unstoppable
쓰고도
on
이길 수
Lotus.
있는 라운드였는데.
Execute up on 20 kills. That's double up on whatever Laz has. Just speaks volumes as to how much his impact is felt on this map. But apart from that, I mean, you were talking about it, no flashes. You guys just gotta go in for a dry contact. It's clear as day what that means. You know, you're going in for those trades, and while they were able to find some of these frags, got out some numbers, it came down to a 3-on-2. Saya player had the showstopper. So a last-minute timeout called by Zeta.
타임아웃 된 김에 화장실 다녀오도록 하겠습니다.
Not sure how much they can do for this map, but at the very least, you know, a bit of a breather, some more ideas for maybe the next map as well. Because Sunset is another map where ops could be really, really strong. You always want to watch out for Excurate with his lurks.
You know who's happy in this game, aside from T1? Everyone else. Because they're seeing the VODs of T1 and how they're playing with this, and they're already formulating, how are we going to deal with Excurates?
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Yeah, Chamber, right? What's going to be the counter to this? Because it is looking unstoppable. And it shows, man. Zeta Division have never had a convincing round in this Lotus map at all. Sure, there's 4 rounds in their name, but those were clutches. Those were just slight mishaps that they were able to use against T1. But ultimately, T1 still has the overwhelming control. Speaking of which, very aggressive push out from Zeta Division here on C. They were kind of hoping that maybe their commitment on Mound might have gotten them any kills, but it's only gotten them a little bit of map control. If Carby doesn't push up here, well, never mind, he does. That might have been the spike dropped, but T1's not foolish enough to leave it alone, especially now that they know that the A site is very much open for taking.
Spike planted.
I mean, I don't even know what more you can really do. Excurate is prepared. Laz has got nothing
화장실
but
갔다
the
왔는데 언제 이렇게
lockdown. Does commit to it.
언제 설마
But then as the peaks come through, just simple shot from Excurate and it says everything.
Also think about this.
뭐지?
He hits those shots with the tour de force that slows everybody down. Through the wall, one more in, and was there ever a doubt we
지지.
were gonna go to map number 3 with such a
와우 오늘 풀꽉 지리네 그냥.
Lotus is their baby. And again, ladies and gentlemen, we got ourselves another game 3 for today.
Should have picked the chamber. You gotta challenge.
와 오늘 근데 케빈 잘한다. 오늘 케빈 MVP 먹겠는데?
T1, that's a map where they play Yoru on. There's so much to break down, so much to think about, and of course Zeta has their work cut out for them. It's not going to be an easy day. T1 still has the chance at putting down Zeta Division.
Giving you guys your much desired predictions.
Look at that, 6 first bloods on Execute. Not to mention the ACS that, you know, our desk will be looking at pretty soon, but not to mention Rossi and Saya player who have been performing really well as well.
And again, it's not just Execute, right? He's been
일단 나는 내가 만약에 경기 보러 가면은 DRX랑 T1 맞경기 있으면은 난 집에 못 가겠는데? 하용.
I mean, might as well go to a map 3, right? We already
Sunset, sunset,
said it. Let's
sunset.
do it, then here we are going.
T1 화이팅.
아이고 고마워 나봉아 고마워. 아하 니혼징 고마워. 와 근데 로터스 진짜 그냥 케빈 오퍼가 캐리했다 이거. 그냥 케빈이 오퍼를 너무 잘 써. 로터스 방금 판에서는. 아직 그래도 여러분들 선셋이 있기 때문에 오늘 앞 경기에서 이제 PRX 선셋 보면은 아울로를 되게 잘 썼었거든요. 노엔트리로 보셨을지 모르겠는데 아울로도 약간 쓰는 모습을 조금 많이 보여줬으면 좋겠다 약간 내 입장에서는. 왜냐면 아울로가 그만큼 사기기 때문에 그냥 반갑 싸가지없게 반갑 쓴다 하면은 그냥 풀갑 사기끔 만들기 아울로를 이게 진행시켜 약간 이런 느낌. 야야야 포세이크 아울로 뉴비 가이스. 오늘 약간 수산토 형제가 이제 보여주는 날인가? 안녕 한국인입니다. 뭐야 저거. 네. 근데 디스코드에서 중계하고 있어요. 제가 중계권이 없어서. 근데 이제 그거 알죠? 대회 같이 보면서 이제 여러분들이랑 같이 즐기고 싶은 마음. 아 근데 이게 좋은 점이 아프리카를 가면 좋은 점이 하나 있어요. 그거를 그냥 볼 수가 있어가지고 아프리카를 가면 그거 하나 진짜 좋습니다. 이게 그냥 달고 그냥 보면 돼가지고 그게 너무 편해가지고 사실은. 아 근데 어차피 외딴선 방송인 거 그냥 아프리카 갈까? 아 진짜 너무 고민된다. 얌딴섬. 아니 원래 그 뭐지 소희가 아니라 소냥이가 자기 친구 없다고 아프리카로 오라고 했는데 나도 친구 없어 소냥아. 어떡하니? 야야야야. 아 근데 저 이번에 DRX 새로 나온 유니폼 있잖아요. 디자인 바뀐 거 저 근데 그게 없어가지고 9버전 유니폼이어서 어떡하지? 아 이것도 근데 사실 새로운 건 아니긴 한데 그래도 색깔은 맞잖아요. 근데 이번에 DRX 유니폼? 나는 받은 거 하얀색인데 이번에 약간 남색? 무슨 색이라고 해야 돼? 약간 그런 색감으로 나와가지고 동시송출이요. 동시송출 내일부터 할까요? 사실 내일은 내일 동시송출 할까? 아, 근데 제가 지금 아프리카 베스트 BJ여가지고 아프리카로는 동시송출을 못. 아니 내가 충분히 물어볼 수 있긴 한데 뭔가 내가 정확히 어디에 갈지 모르겠어가지고. 그냥 삼시송출? 아프리카 치지직 유튜브. 아 시작한다. 지금 이러고 있을 때가 아니야. 대회를 봐야 해.
Wins this. Quack qualifies already for the playoffs, which is gonna be massive. You know, again, when kickoff has so many of the champion points, we'll see how this goes. Zeta Division versus T1. T1's X-Grit has been nigh phenomenal. Man is possessed.
So far, yeah, T1 definitely showing us a lot on that Lotus map so far. But then, as the desk mentioned, agent composition changes up, shows a T1 that maybe wants to tamper with something and change things up. Definitely a lot more serious, a lot more effective.
근데 포지션 지금 메인에 백사 잘 먹어놓고 있어가지고 망상 아니 망상 안 맞았어. 아니 메인도 잘 지키고 있어. 진짜 어쩔 건데. 와우 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 케빈. Oh my god.
First round, 4 pistols. I don't know if it's the Prowler that kind of gives it off, or it's just not quite really having the utility to combat some of these positions, but Zeta walks straight into a trap.
와 진짜 메인 먹어놓은 거 존나 잘했다. 근데 메인을 왜 한 명밖에 안 해?
Starting to lose contact, or not just the contact, but just lose the due diligence to, you know, maybe we have an opponent that travels on that B main position, and we have to check. And you see Euron just throwing his flash to assist his teammates on the side when, again, they haven't fully cleared out B main at all.
망상 에이밍 잘.
So now with the guns, I mean, they can move around a lot more. T1. Zeta Division, on the other hand, again, still just getting a feel for how they are
되게
set
많이
up.
긁혔어요.
Exploring mid this time.
로시.
Knocked up here
Hey,
by
Danny.
Rossi and Excurit. Excurit should have his ultimate almost up. And imagining that coming into the bonus,
Danny.
that's going to be quite a huge advantage for him.
나이스 데니.
As T1 slowly but surely rolling in the rounds. Still pretty early, but you can already see, I feel like at some point, the exhaustion here of Zeta Division.
Rossi having a good time too.
지금 느낌
Zeta
좋다.
Division at the very least. I mean, this is still pretty early on in the map, but yeah, I mean, that said, you really got to find different ways to push through. We're expecting a lot from this full buy round now because it says a lot as to how this map will start. And again, wanting to punch that ticket through to the playoff stage.
재밌어 보이던데? 헤이지 TP 재밌어
Camera's
보이는데요,
giving some
여러분.
really nice information here for Excurit.
오!
Two little shutdown. Dep does find him in the battle through the Cypher cage. That's some information
그래도
gathered.
뒤를 잘
That's
잡고 있기 때문에
big player
이제
down.
할페 오빠가 잘
But
살았긴
T1
하네.
Saya player and like two other
같이
players
셋이거든요?
here from T1 going in for this big flank. You can already see
아직
Laz
안 왔어 라고 알려주고
patiently while the
있어서
rest
지금
of his
홀드하고
team
있죠 서로.
manages their way on A main. Carpe's dart
아!
really gets scattered.
그레네이드!
Bullet
Oh
flush him
my
out, absolutely at will
god!
as Huron falls down. As I mentioned, 3 players of T1 going in for the flank.
아 이거 들어오는지 안 들어오는지 제대로 체크하려고
Trap
하다가
first and Laz on first contact.
이렇게
Is
됐네.
gonna get punished. They're just gonna go with this for this 3-man push. They do upgrade some of their weapons, so there is better firepower right now from T1. The risk to actually push up on A main pays off. Numbers favoring Zeta Division, but that's never been a hindrance here for T1.
Ooh.
They do line up for Dep in that high
아니
vantage point.
뎁시
Izu left by himself.
로터스를 못 하시는 건가?
Probably just gonna be playing that exit frag.
뎁시 선셋
way too
오니까
many
샷이
targets right
다시
in front of him,
빨딱이신데?
The way that this round plays out, just a more decisive take from Zeta. Going in for that elbow push, T1 not really, despite having the camera for information, not really able to work off against it. So now it's just gonna be a Zeta that slowly, comes back into the game. Still really early on, but right now, great movements from Zeta to put themselves back on the board. As we go to the next round, of course, T1 gets to buy back up. Laz maybe a bit of a half buy. But more interestingly enough, it's going to be Saya player on the operator this time. Still a very lethal force in this game, but we got to watch out for him. Excurit, on the other hand, playing a more ratty role as compared to what we saw in Lotus. A little bit more similar to what we saw him do on Ascent.
And with him having that neural theft, right now it's going to be a huge boom if he can actually utilize that. Saya player's operator somewhere here on elbow. The flash out.
근데 괜찮아요?
If he
아니
can
안
retake
괜찮아요.
this,
이
they
자리
don't
쓰면
even
안
know
돼?
he's there. As you
아니
can
이 자리
see, his teammate is
쓰면은
giving
이제 뭐 막
most of the
날라오던데?
information.
이거 벌써
Carpe's
망상대기
breaking
하고
all the
있죠?
utility, but I feel like Zeta knows something's up at this point. They're waiting for maybe a push out here for T1.
오면 10초째 망상 들고 있다가 스모크 한번 들고 이제 망상 다시 한번 들고.
In all of these things, and they're coaxing it with the Sova drone.
와, 3명.
Yeah, just trying to get a feel for it too. As long as Saya player
망상.
can't make this connect.
이제는 가야 돼요. 이제는 가야 합니다.
Zeta is definitely thinking about the paranoia to get themselves out of this sticky situation.
그레네이드.
Or to at least get a pinch onto
아,
Saya.
이게 레이즈라 가지고 아, 진짜
They
레이즈.
understood that he was there, or someone at least pocketed themselves on the corner. That was absolutely monumental. Haunt from out of nowhere. Laz finds an opening. Rossi does get a trade, but ultimately
트레이드가
Huron
됐네, 이게?
finds him. That means an Excurate left on an island on that B site. What a battle
planted.
of patience. Again, the first one to
Oh.
peak loses, and it was a Saya player that did because of that aftershock.
Yeah, patience and reads, right? You know, first of all, that aftershock, you have the
야, so
paranoia
many
that comes out as
skill.
well.
아니 저 자리
And
쓰면 안
if you
돼.
think about
내가
how
봤을
team
때
operates,
저
they're either
자리는
throwing it
그냥
out just to
스킬을
get in
빼는 용도로만 써야 될 것
or,
같아.
you know, they're also
저기
anticipating such
셋업이
movements from
셋업이
Team
아니라 그냥
One, and
스킬이
either
너무 세
way,
들어오는
It
스킬들이.
speaks volumes as to how Zeta are reading this game. And that's something that they could definitely
그냥
need
저기다
more
스킬
of as they
써주는 거에
push through
감사해야 돼 일단.
into that 2-2 scoreline. I mean, Depp just reacting off of such an opening kill as well, instantly diving onto the site, giving his team a lot more space to work with around A. So far, they haven't really seen Excurate though, so that could be
Whoa.
an idea.
오.
Sorry, that's a very, very early timeout call. I'm assuming this is from T1, no?
It has
Oh, we'll
to
see. It has to be. Yeah, it is. So they realize something's up, even though, again, they put Zeta to the brink in that last game. You know, there's always the point where T1 is making sure. And I do like, you know, these kind of teams that do these type of things. I can only assume that's what they're thinking, but if it is, right, it's a huge understanding of how Zeta can always be a big threat against them.
But always is this question of like, what are some of these tiny gaps that are in our defenses? And Autumn is trying to right that ship. What we've seen so far is always this elbow, and although the attempt was to stick Saya player with an operator down this spot, hasn't really, you know, given that much of a counter yet. It is a very, very early timeout. That is the thing. So it's very hard to really figure out why this is being called as well.
Ooh, mishap there from Depp. Either a misclick
즐기는
or
거지,
a
뎁시도
bit too
이제.
early
게임을 즐기고 계시는 거야 지금.
with the satchel. That's all you really need to do, right, to mess up around. You kind of want that extra elevation, that extra oomph that the second satchel does bring, especially when he has that showstopper for
아
a
근데
play
이거
here.
큐안하면은
Or not.
이게 궁 쓰기 살짝
In
애매하거든요.
case, hoping that he could maybe break that camera too. Everybody here from T1 playing in such tight-knit positions to
큐 한번
capitalize
뿅 타고
off of
들어가서
those tripwires, exposing
이러면서
position off of Zeta.
가야 되는데.
Very crucial, and Excurate still is just lurking right around the corner of Market. Although it is smoked off, you got Carpe here as well.
나이스 그레네이드.
So
뭔가
even though
몸으로
this
깨고
is a
싶었던
round
것
where
같은데
Zeta
그냥 바로
has the better
그레네이드를
guns,
까줬고요.
you still want to be careful.
궁으로 안 들어옵니다.
That was late for Nate. Side player already gave away his position. He's somewhere here on Market
궁으로
So,
들어올 줄
they're just
알고
gonna be
일단
holding on to that
빠져서 봤는데
for the moment right
심리전
now.
모임.
Depp's going to be pushing in, but it might actually be, again, a bit of a risk. The separation on these smokes could be fatal, but I don't know. We'll see. Anyways,
제타 포지션
stack to the back
좋긴
of
한데
both
바로
here.
망상 맞죠?
Big
그쵸?
paranoia
저라이 망상
already.
맞아야겠지. 아니 근데 여기 왜 체크 안 해?
Corner, so the trades are looking favorable for Zeta. Izu's one,
뭐지?
two remain. Not spotted by the C, spotted by the Haunt though. Stunned as well. TP's away. Repositions.
어.
But Depp hounds him down and shuts him up.
Real quick, I mean, even though that blast back, yeah, it was a little bit lost in the start of the buy phase, as they push in, I mean, it's a very clear game plan just to smoke things off, make their way in,
That goes there.
toss some